give you all about 5-10 minutes to get up in here. And then we'll kind of get started. Well, not kind of. We will get started. Let's go over to the live one right now and see who's jumping on. Kind of an awkward time to do it. I know 8 o'clock on a Saturday. Everybody's probably got better things to do. But, Chips, what's up, Maddie? How are you? But we are going to go ahead and get started soon. That can go away. What else do I need? Where's Slack? The hell was that? Oh. I thought that was a bug on my screen. Alright, let's drop the link in the chat. Alright. 10 a.m. Sunday, got it. What's up, Larry? Just 3, what's going on, man? Oh, I gotta start my list. Hold on, I forgot. We got 3 away. Maddie, there's Taffy. What's up, Taffy? Taffy, King AB. We got, I think, Selurnivik. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Pretty sure that's Kevin, though. How's it going? Spin, what's up? We got Spin in here. Selurnivik. All right, so far so good. I know we got a few folks who are going to kind of trickle in here over the next few minutes, but we'll get started at about 8 o'clock. There's really only one major thing not major, but this is, there's one thing I want to go over that Mike and I actually talked about yesterday. So we'll get into that here very, very soon. But how was everybody's weekend? How we all doing? What's up with Justified getting another grade 1 winner today? In real life or in the sim? I didn't pay attention to anything today. What's up, Skip? And I have a feeling that was a shot at the downgrade spin. I'll explain that too. I'll get into the details on that. So yeah. But yeah, that's about it. You got here too early? Nah, you're good, man. You're about. We're gonna kind of get rolling here. Everybody can hear me all right, right? I've had to mess with something on my sound settings, so I'm hoping that I'm not too low. You got me fine? Okay. Perfect. Corey K, can you do me a favor and drop your gamer, your sim tag in the chat for me? That's it. I knew. God, thank you, sir. Or ma'am. Not sure. Thank you. Rancho. Sir, all right. I had it right the first time. Anywho. So, yeah. We'll get rolling here shortly, though. We'll have hopefully some fun. Hopefully we'll, show you guys kind of an old little thing that exists on the that exists in the game. It's an old thing that Mike and I are going to try and take advantage of to do some crowdsourcing. I don't know if Mike is coming tonight, Skip. I doubt it. I haven't heard from him at all today. Him and I spoke yesterday, and he told me if he can make it, he will. But I know he was tied up with some things today. So for the most part, probably just going to be me again. He might text in. He might text me every now and then and tell me I answered something wrong or what have you. He might be listening. So we shall see. So yeah. Aspen Grove on a grade 1. Offspring of Justify. Oh, and on the turf. How about that? Not too shabby. Well, I should probably do that. So I guess Justify is the real deal then, huh? Or starting to look like the real deal? Oh, it was 1.25 miles too. I gotta look at my numbers to see if I had that one. Or not had it, but if I would have had it. Yeah, I'm looking at the breeding right now. What's up, Sam? How we doing? Let me add you to the list, sir. And a Skippy. All right, so it's about 8 o'clock Eastern time. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of jump into what I wanted to get into. And then as per usual, we'll answer questions. We'll go through whatever. We'll go through whatever it is that we need to go through, you know, or not whatever we need to go through, but we'll go through your questions. We'll go through some horse review stuff if you guys want to do that again. I feel like that's been a pretty big hit of late, but what we're going to do initially is so the sire rating stuff. Before I jump into the tool thing, I'm going to go over the downgrade real quick. And as far as the upgrade downgrade is concerned, as far as Justify and See the Stars are concerned, they were just recalibrated. So the way that it works is that there's an entire like formulaic system that's kind of built up, and to keep everything in line, it basically, I don't want to say it orders them, but it gets them as close as possible to what they should be ranked. So when I said that See the Stars and Justify were technically downgraded, we're talking about like tenths of a point. So not very significant. I just wanted to get that out there. So it wasn't like hugely significant or anything like that. It was just to kind of reorder some stuff and align it so that it kind of jived a little bit better. Skip said, I did not see the Twitch announcement until this afternoon. Had to dread up a list of questions. We'll get to him, Skip. Rancho said, I think he got another graded winner aside from 1-2. Verifying, I think, unless he was... verifying was already graded, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think verifying was graded because he was one of the horses. Well, not... I don't want to say he was highly touted, but they were talking about him going into the Derby. And we got Donnie. What's up, Donnie? DB in the house. Shag. Oh man, I got all y'all in here tonight. I was thinking it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday. Nobody's coming. Oh wow. All right. Well, we're on a group date with Cody, so good luck with that, Cody. Let us know if she breaks up with us. All right. So the other bit of information is I want to kind of go over the wiki pedigree. So as some of you know, we do this. We add horses here into the game, and then eventually they get picked up when Mike does the update. This is part of it. I'm not going to show you how to add a horse here, but basically, you just type a horse in, add it, and it'll basically find it in the database, and then you start matching up the breeding and so on and so forth. I've done it a couple of times. I haven't been the one who typically does this particular adding, but what I wanted to go over was the already existing horses, right? And not just the already existing horses, but if you do happen to add a horse, you'll have this option as well. But I want to kind of show you real quick something that kind of exists today. And as you can see, there's a lot of horses in here that are almost named Tappet, but we only want the one that is. Excuse me. So basically, as you see here, you get the pedigree, pops up, everything you need to know about the horse, the DI, the CD, all that. What I wanted to show you is the alert problem update attributes. Now, I know some of y'all have actually already started using this, and I think it's been more of the Australian guys and girls and the South African guys and girls for their particular sires, because we've seen some movement on this actually pretty recently. But if you click on that, it's going to bring you into this page here, and I hope everybody can see this okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. Y'all see that all right? But basically, what we're ultimately asking folks to do is to more or less update the information on the horse attributes page. And then we also want to update information on the sire and mare info page. So like the cost, for example, the sire cost is a huge one. That really helps us figure out, it really helps us kind of place the horse in terms of like rating. That's part of it. Excuse me. The other bit of information that we would need is the distance information, the surface information. Is the horse good on and off track? Whatever the horse's style was, or what if the offspring is showing a good style, if the offspring has maturity, if the offspring has durability, or if the sire shows any of this stuff here, right? So for Tappet, right now I haven't updated Tappet. I've never done anything for Tappet, but if I was updating Tappet, what I would probably do is something along the lines of not that. I would click on the little flag, and then as far as the distance is concerned, the low, I would say, Tappet could get anything for the most part, but I'm going to go ahead and say a mile, okay? And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to update the high, and I'm going to say, we'll say 12, right? Or no, we'll say 12. 12 is good. So now these two fields will actually get, or these two bits of information, when I go to save this, will get added into the database. And what we're going to do is we're going to essentially take everything that you guys add in, and we're going to effectively crowdsource it. So we're going to take what y'all do, and kind of come up with a formula to now balance it into the actual ratings pool for the sires. Now, we don't know what that percentage is going to look like from the community. However, the more involved you guys are, the better for us. It makes life easy for us because this is a very, very tedious process, right? So the more help we get, the better off we are. Before I go too far. But if you go into so again, dirt and turf, right? You have options here. My progeny is much better on dirt than turf. My progeny is better on dirt than turf. My progeny is a little better on dirt than turf, so on and so forth. So we'll click on that because Tappet can kind of go both ways. I don't want to lean him too far one way or the other. Artificial, I'm going to skip. Off track, we could put they're equally competitive on an off track. And then offspring style, I don't really care to answer that. Maturity, my offspring develop extremely early. 3 years old, 4 years old, whatever. I'm not going to leave that alone for the moment. And then as far as durability is they have average durability. They're fragile, and again, you could answer this. If you don't have direct knowledge of the actual offspring, you can answer it based on what the horse did, throughout its career, if you have more information on that. But if I save this, which I just did, now all my ratings are saved, and all that stuff is going to show up in the database for us. Now, what this does is this actually creates values for us. So it creates numbered instances that'll then actually get added into the code. Now, before I go too far, if you're filling this out, okay, and you're kind of being a jerk just to be a jerk, in the sense of now, if you're going to tell me, I don't know, if you're going to tell me Stormcat's stud fee was $10 as opposed to whatever it was, like the $500,000 or something or other that it was. We do have a baseline, already set up in the game. So if you're submitting things in and they're so far out of whack compared to the rest of the community, we're just going to ignore them. So if you can take it seriously, fill the information out, to the best of your ability, and we'll go from there. And again, if you like a sire, fine. I understand people have their favorites and whatnot, but let's keep it all within the realm of realism, right? Now, again, this isn't going to be the end all be all, right? What you guys do won't take complete ownership of the ratings, but it is going to have a say in it if going forward it kind of works itself out. Now, I've ignored chat this entire time because I wanted to get through that, but in a nutshell, you fill out the offspring optimal distance range. This just the low, the high, the dirt, the turf, artificial, off track, offspring style, offspring maturity, offspring durability, the cost, the primary breeding location, this information if it's still going on, and then obviously the basic horse attributes if they're not already in the system, and that's it. And that's exactly what we're going to do, or that's exactly what we're asking you guys to do. So again, only rule is please don't be an unrealistic a-hole. Try to keep things within the realm of realism, and we'll kind of go from there. And that was all I wanted to get through. So hopefully I get a bunch of y'all who want to do this and can free range just kind of jump in here and do it. And again, I'm going to show you how to get there. You just go Wikipedia, and then again, I'll use Tap It again. You could use whatever horse you want. If you want to do Into Mischief is there. So everything and anything will pop up. Anything that's in the game will pop up. And that's that. So let me scroll back up because I know I missed a ton of comments already. Let's see. Where did we leave off? DB is drinking water spiked with cranberry juice. Adult beverage. I like it, DB. I enjoy a good Cape Codder myself. Tavi says, the concern is what happens if people put accurate... Oh, yeah, if people put accurate info inaccurate info, drastically inaccurate info, we're going to know. Trust me, we already have stuff in the background set up to filter those folks out. So when I say don't be that guy, please don't be that guy because you're literally wasting your own time. You're gonna get filtered out. So don't waste your own time, doing that. Am I creating an AI version of Shag Farms? I thought Shag was AI already. Let's see. Sam, so many good runners make awful sires and vice versa. What an undertaking. Yeah, it's a lot, Sam. Who says I'm not? There you go, Shag. Who says I'm not already AI? Beat me to the punch. Let's see. Tavi says, yeah, I think one year Mike sent out a spreadsheet to a group of us that had the new sires on it to go through and add this info for the ones we knew about. Yeah. He's done that in the past, but like I said, we're going to try and use this because it goes directly into the database, and then we're going to build a formula around it to get it added. But like I said before, it's a very well thought out process by both Mike and myself. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but it was, it's something that we're hopefully going to implement starting this year when we do the update, but we're trying to get a jump start on it now, and you can update as many or as little as you want, but just know whatever you update is going to have, some sort of factor in, on what we end up doing. The Aussie NZ sires are now going to get a heap of info going forward. Oh, I'm sure they will. But it's funny because I saw a comment recently. Somebody was bitching about the South African and the Aussie sires not getting enough love. And they're actually rated a lot higher than they probably should be in most cases. So... yeah, I'll kind of leave it at that. But the fact, typically, what I'll say is typically we come in on the high side because we want the experience to be more enjoyable for the player. So, yeah, if you're not seeing success with the sires, I would argue it's the players, or it's what you're breeding them with. If you're using, good sires with bad mares and vice versa, you're never going to get good. King says I would move Tapit to at least 12 furlongs as he had 4. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think I had him at 12. If not, I'll go back and fix it. Skip says, my lack of understanding is why a strong dirt horse sire in real life is listed and throwing turf foals in the sim, and how will the input you showed us affect this? Well, Skip, Justify was a pretty strong dirt sire in real life, or a pretty strong dirt runner in real life, and he just won a Grade 1 turf today, as I was told. So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, Curlin does the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. He's got runners on both surfaces. Yeah, I mean, I think he does anyway. Into Mischief, I know does. I'm pretty sure Heart's Cry with Yoshida had, Yoshida won on both dirt and turf. So I mean, yeah, it's it can go either way. Like just because we enter information here doesn't mean that it's the end all be all, right? Like if somebody goes super heavy on turf or dirt rather, let's say that you're super heavy on dirt, it doesn't mean that you can't draw turf. It just means the chances of you drawing dirt are better than they are for turf. So I guess that's the best way to explain it. Rancho, will there ever be a search feature that we can look for sires based on data entered? For instance, I'm looking for a dirt sprint sire as an example. It's possible. Somebody else had asked that as well. I think, excuse me, I think for that, we got to do, it's going to kind of come with the overhaul of the website when we get there. Cody said, I've been thinking the same thing. Sam said, I imagine real life stud fees play a big part of the new sires overall. It does, because that's really, I mean, it's kind of it's a combination of, well, for new sires, it's a combination of the pedigree plus the stud fee. So, and then, again, we look at distances and things like that, and we kind of try to line them up accordingly. But yeah, that's kind of how we do it, Sam. It would be nice to sort sire status by average runner. By their average runner, are you looking for a dirt sprinter? Yeah. Again, that's a website thing. We'll get there eventually. Sam said, "Go Zapper throws a lot of turf in real life. You still have that yellow sire book we bought, Frank?" Yeah, I do have it. I have it somewhere packed away, Sam. Some of it helps. Yeah. Justify shuttles to Australia, so expect more turf winners for him. Yeah, and again, I mean that's the thing, right? Like anything's possible in horse racing. I mean, you see it all the time. So I don't want to limit it to just that, but I don't want to say that like, oh, if everybody in the chat says that Tappet is a turf horse, that it's going to swing everything. It's going to swing Tappet over to the turf side. No, that's not going to happen. Because like I said, we have a baseline, and we know Tappet can throw both, right? I don't think he throws both as equally as good, but he definitely throws dirt better than turf, at least in my opinion. So, the point of it is to get you guys more involved, to help us, with adding the sires that we miss, number one, because there's a lot of folks who play who are from overseas, who know about the Japanese sires, who know about the South African sires, who know about the Australian sires. And to be completely honest with you, me and Mike aren't really privy to all that information, right? Like we know about the U.S., we have some idea about, the European sires. But even then, we rely on, folks from Europe to come through on that as well. So this will boost some of the other sires, which will be fun. It's possible. Yeah, I mean, again, it's possible. Like I said, information is key here. So if we don't have the full story, and again, I'll be the first to tell you, like, Mike even mentioned this to me yesterday. He said, we'll be the first ones to tell you that there is a really, really good possibility when it comes to sires that, number one, we either missed the sire entirely, or number two, we just didn't rate it right? That's 100% a possibility. So this is one of those things that doesn't really require a huge amount of effort on our part, which is why we're asking you guys to get involved, because the bones of it are already there. So like I said, we want to try and get the community more involved in the actual ratings and whatnot. And then at the end, what we would do is we would release what the overall community rating for a horse was. We won't give you what the actual sire rating in the game is, but we will eventually give the community rating, if we get that far. So that's, effectively the direction we're kind of going with it. Skip says, on the all horses page to the right of the badges heading, could we get another heading for the sire of the horse? Maybe. Yep, I already know what you're asking, Skip. Basically asking for a way to filter by sires on the all horses page. Yeah, I've gone over this a few times. I don't know that we're gonna do it for the website in its current state. Because it's on, like I said, it's on some old code. So when we do the rewrite of the website, I think it's more likely you'll find it there than we would kind of do it here. It's not to say that we won't do it here. We're just kind of leaning towards making any huge updates to the old site to the new site as opposed to the old one when we get to, or the new format as opposed to the old one when we get there. The other thing is, and I don't know if anybody saw this, but I posted it in the Slack chat. I didn't post it on the forum yet. I was going to comment. I think Kratos was the one who actually asked for this. If it wasn't him, then it was somebody else on the forum. I forget who, but I got Padre Bry gave us a new icon. There they are. Now you can tell the difference between a mom and a retired horse. The retired horse shoots out an orange badge. So this, again, easy fix that we went ahead and we popped in, right? Took us less than 5 minutes to do this. So, yeah, that was that. So I just want to make sure that everybody was aware that this exists now on the mare's page. So you can basically see who's been bred and who hasn't been bred. And this looks like one of my shitty horses. Yeah. Bazals took him from me. I guess he didn't get much out of him either. Or her. Excuse me. But yeah. So that's it. That's basically how that's gonna work. Corey says perfect. The retired badge stands out much better. Yep, that was kind of the goal there. 3 says like that badge. Knew about mom and retired before, but this makes it easier. Yeah, somebody had brought it up in the last stream that we did that was the difference, between the mom and the retired badge, is that the retired means that the horse just hadn't been bred yet. So, which was neat, right? I didn't know that. So it was useful. So what we did is we kind of played with the color scheme a little bit, made it orange and black. And again, Padre Bry helped us with that, which was awesome on his part. So, and that's that. And then you can see all my crappy sires, the ones I haven't used, or my crappy mares, the ones I haven't used yet. Excuse me. Whew. All right. So that was the extent of what I wanted to go over with the actual wiki, the wiki pedigree. Yeah. So that was that. Is there any questions specifically about the wiki pedigree? Like, cause I don't want to move off of this yet. If we have questions, there's Croft. I don't want to move off of this if there's questions about updating it. I'm really hopeful that, whoever's seeing this is going to actually help. I am going to do a forum post on it. So again, I really hope that you guys take advantage of this, because you are going to have a say in the ratings going forward. So it's really one of those things where you're going to want to be involved. And I know some guys have already started. I know Dragno's already kind of been in there messing around and doing stuff. He's the one name that sticks out to me. Skip said, I've been asking for years, but I keep bringing it up, keep it in their minds. What have you been asking, Skip? Is that with pertaining to the sires? Croft says, it's taking me 30 minutes to log in. If this is all technical, I'm stuffed. No, we don't really we don't really do much technical here. Rancho, I noticed that badge earlier and thought I just hadn't been paying attention to my horses. No, that was actually added on Friday, Rancho, so we just popped that in. There are a number of free sire books online and a number that go really in depth for sale. Yeah, I was signed up to a few of those, King, and I actually live like an hour away from Ocala too, so I could probably just find my way up there and get some good information if I really wanted to. But yeah, you get on some of the mailing lists and get some information. But even then, it's a lot to research. You know what I mean? It's a ton to research. Put some info on Wiki just now. Easy to use. Yeah, absolutely. At the wire, super super easy to use. Like I said, and you only have to do the fields that we said. Don't worry about the other ones, right? Because if you do the other ones, we're gonna kind of be we're not looking at those fields. We're specifically looking at the ones that I mentioned earlier. Cody says, if someone is fucking up the ratings, like if I go in and say tap it only throws 4.5 for, is there a chance it could be Oh yeah, no, it'll 100% be reprimanded. And the way that it'll get reprimanded is that we will pretty much just exclude you from the calculation. Like my future ratings won't count. I'm just concerned about something like that happening accidentally and then being ignored in the future. No, yeah, no, we'll just ignore you. Like that's exactly what will happen. So, I mean, you can do it accidentally, right? Like the thing of it is if you do it accidentally, that's fine. But if you have we're both smart enough to know that, when I say both, me and Mike are both smart enough to know that, you do something once by accident, okay, fine, a couple times, whatever, especially if you're submitting a lot of information to us. But if it's like a pattern of sorts, that's when we're going to kind of be like, all right, your stuff is kind of way out of whack. It's too out of whack for what we're doing. So there'll be we're almost going to be rating you guys on how you rate the Sires, if that makes sense. Any thoughts on how to come up with those real world opinions? I would just look at what the Sire did in real life. If you have general knowledge of what the Sire did in real life, or if you have any knowledge of what the babies are doing, that's a good way to do it, a good way to look at it. Can we re-review Sires, for instance, if we have a bad opinion? Oh, yeah, you can go back in. Look, so here, I'll show you. So I did Tap It a minute ago, right? So whatever I did with Tap It should still be there. Yeah, see? It's still here. So if I want to change it, I just click on the flag. Click on the flag and go in and make whatever I want to make, whatever change I want to make. And that's it. Or I can just confirm. Oh, I deleted it by accident. Sorry. Click on 8 furlongs and then boom, you're done. Save. Same thing. And it's still there. But that's it. Somebody else. Bizalls, what's up, man? Oh, we got a lot of you here tonight. Yes, on the front page. Sorry, Skip, I'm not following. What do you mean on the front page? Pretty sure most of my real world Sire knowledge is based on how they do in the sim. You could still rate them based on how they do in the sim. Again, we're not, like I said, we're not, it's not solely going to be based off of what the community does. So I just want to make that clear. There is going to be there is a baseline set by us. So we'd like to get to a point where the community has the majority of the control, but we have to do the wait and see approach here and see how this works. We got to kind of test it, and that's exactly what we're going to do, in the next update. So, Missiles, can we start over? Sure, man. Just scroll your little bar there all the way back. Let's see. Chips, not in the spirit of the game. If someone is foolish enough to do it, one for all, not all for one. Yeah, I mean, again, if you're trying to be a jerk and completely skew the ratings, it's not going to happen. Number one, because Mike and I aren't idiots, and number two, you're just gonna be wasting your own time. So you're close. I am close to Ocala. I am in Brooksville, so I'm like 45 minutes south. I actually almost moved to Ocala this past January. Are the ratings for real life only or sim and real life? I mean, we'd like it to be based off of real life. The more it's based off of real life, the more the sim will act, towards real life. I know there've been some complaints about certain things not really working the way, or not. I shouldn't say not working, but that the game doesn't actually mimic stat for stat real life how it works, and it's not meant to do that, right? The sim is a sim for a reason. It's a simulation. It's based on what the players do. So, Rancho said, never mind, we're rating them off real life offspring, not the offspring we get from... No. You're not rating them based off the offspring you get in the game. You want to do it based off of real life. I mean, again, you could take what you know about the game and kind of apply it to a certain extent, but I wouldn't solely base it off of that. Corey K says, so what you see on the wiki page is user-specific example. All fields that I filled out will still reflect when I go back to that Sire's page. It won't have any influence from other... No, it won't have any influence, Corey. So the data that you actually submit is tagged to your master stable, so I'll actually know who submitted. So Just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. I will know if you're fucking around. And so will Mike, for that matter. So, don't want to drop the ban hammer on you. How do we know which fields you want us to input? We can update DS and DDS only types. You can update everything. But I'll go over it again. The fields, and I'm going to put it out. I'll put out a little bulletin on the forum as well. But, I mean, if you're adding a new horse, obviously you're going to fill out this information here under horse attributes. You fill out as much as you can here. For the sire mare info, on here, you can fill out the horse. The most important fields are the horse name, obviously, which should already be there based off of the previous, the previous tab. But you want the cost, which is hugely important, and then the low, the high, the dirt/turf, the artificial, if you want. It's not really important. The off track, the offspring style, the offspring maturity, and the offspring durability. Just these ones right here. So that's it. And again, you don't even have to fill them all out. Just fill out whichever ones you want. Anything you fill out, we're gonna get the information on. So it's not even like you have to fill everything out. You can fill one field out and we'll still get it and apply it. Taffy says, how do you handle those listed with private stud fees? I mean, with with our own opinions, pretty much, Taffy, and kind of what the horse does on the track. Like, it's a lot of research that gets done by Mike. Mike basically does a ton of research on this stuff, towards the end of the year, and again, myself now too. So, and I'm kind of trying to get started a little bit earlier this year so that we can make it a little bit easier for us, and we're not in so much of a rush come next year when we have to do the update. So, but yeah, you handle the best way, I would say, as far as private stud fees are concerned, is use your best judgment. DB says, I'm trying to think of something to complain to Francois about, but coming up empty. I don't listen to your shit anyway, DB. 3 says, for cost, if they shuttle, is there an option to put the different prices? There should be. It's down here, the shuttle breeding. So you have the primary breeding location and the shuttle breeding. The shuttle is right here on cost. So there's 2 different costs, and both of them get applied. So, yeah. So I mean, both of them get imported rather. So yeah, that's that. What the hell? Oh, okay. That's just weird update on my phone. Tabby, yes. Skip, I was very surprised at how low some of our top sire stud fees are, lower than expected when I researched some in real life the other day. You're very surprised. Oh, I mean, I'm taking it you looked in here, Skip, and you saw, whatever the fees were. So some of it I'll keep in mind is not actually even in here. I don't think, he is in here. Some of it's not even actually in here. Some of it's just internal to the database, so we are aware, like, the numbers don't necessarily align with everything you're going to see here. So there is some other information that we have. Excuse me. Well, there is some other information that we have that's not necessarily that you guys will see on the front end. But either way, like I said, it's all beneficial to us if you got the more you added here. Oh, you went to the real stud farms and looked at their fees? Yeah. Don't forget about, I don't know what that word is, current conversions? Connect conversions? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Sorry, Sam. All right. So, if there's no other questions on that, say what value is acceptable to use. Sam, want to do it correctly going forward. So you want me to go over the values again? Sorry. I'm trying to. So the values here, and again, I'm going to post it on the forum, right? So we'll kind of get to that. But again, if you're adding a new horse, you're just gonna do the horse's name. If you know where they're bred, obviously the sex, and again, you can do this for males and females. By the way, you actually might have to do it for females for some of the mares, in order to get the full pedigree for the males. But so then you have whatever pedigrees down there. You see that, and then as far as this page is concerned, the primary bits of information that we want are the cost, the primary cost, the low, the high, the dirt turf, not the artificial, pretty much the low, the high, and the dirt turf. And if you have anything else right here going down to offspring durability, that is, what we're hopefully looking for. So if you get anything from this point up, we'll take it. Let's see. Like Oscurrent. So it actually does the conversion here. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. Because this is one that I looked at yesterday, or I think one that I did yesterday. Because I was messing around with it. But yeah, so... Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah, there it is. So you see how it shows the number and the currency next to it? That's basically how it works. So that's it. How do you rate private fees? Again, private fees, you're just gonna kind of use your best judgment. I mean, you can if it is a private fee and the horse had a huge stud fee the year before, you can always base it off of that. Base it off of what your knowledge is of the babies, and just kind of go from there. Maddie, I will work on 70 cents to your $1. Sounds good to me. Not necessarily, Ben. There are a couple. Florida for under 5K last year are private this year. Did Seaboy have a 12 furlong winner in real life? I have no clue if he did. I mean, we could probably look and find out if he did. But yeah. So yeah, that's it. Any other questions on this? Or are we feeling pretty good about it? We feeling like we're going to get some participation? I'm hoping we are. You guys can flood the shit out of this so that I can start coding around it. But yeah. All right. So Seaboy would have been a sprinter stallion. It's saying he didn't have a 12 furlong winner though. CD/DI 9999. That's a chef de jour or chef de race thing, Maddie. That's all that is. If the sires, because they get moved in and out, it's just it's a wild mess. That's what the calculation is based on. Ben's, if they're standing in Florida, they are not top tier sires to start with. That's probably true, King. All right. So that is that. So we went over the two things that I wanted to discuss. Now I know Skip said he had a ton of questions. I'm going to just open it up to open forum type style questions like we usually do. I'll try to get all of them. There's about 20 of you in here, so it gets a little chaotic sometimes for me. Taffy says, I think they're the ones that they know they won't get 5K for, so they make deals with whomever. Yeah, I mean, again, to a certain extent with the sires, I mean, most of us know who the good ones are and who the bad ones aren't, right? Like, it's not really a secret. So I would just kind of pay attention to that. Private often indicates that the owners want to be selective with their mares, or they don't want to admit how few mares they get. All a real possibility. So yeah, I will leave it open for questions. And that's that. But good day for everybody today in the sim, I hope. I hope we got a lot of grade 1 winners in the chat. We're all getting free Tappet shares for being here, right? Oh, yeah, of course. Not. I was actually researching this the other night. Oh, nice. So good. So you're ready for the test then, Taffy. Wondered why I private on so many sires I didn't know of. Yeah, I mean, again, we have a baseline, like, so we know. Is gilding always beneficial? No. No, it can help, but it doesn't always. I mean, I'll put it this way: there's a lot of colts that don't get gilded that run just as fast, if not faster, than geldings. No, it can't hurt. I mean, to define your, I mean, whatever your definition is of hurt, right? Like, I mean, if you wanted to Hemare it, then yeah, it can hurt. Are some tracks coded as being harder than others? For instance, is it harder to win a race in Kentucky versus India? No, the tracks aren't coded that way, but the competition is. So you're probably, like, if you're running dirt in Kentucky, chances are you run against the cream of the crop in Kentucky. India, I'd imagine you're probably running against, some of the, I don't want to say, I'm not going to say lesser sires, but it's probably not typically the cream of the crop. Taffy, it can't make them perform worse. No, it can't make them perform worse. It's a, again, hurt is defined, at least for me. Like, I was so hell-bent on not gelding when I first started playing the game because I wanted to Hemare the shit out of everything. Because I wanted mares and I wanted to get, bloodlines and all that. So again, it just depends on your definition. It won't hurt anything as far as track performance is concerned, though. 3 says gelding is just so if they get behind a filly, they don't get excited and forget about racing. Let's see. Croft, Sepoy 3 winners from 67 starters over 12 furlongs. There you go. So it has happened 3 times at that. You just give it the chance to breed them. Exactly, King. Cody, if I don't start paying attention to my date, I'm going to get gelded. We are going to get gelded, Cody. We're on this thing. We're all in this together. Taffy says she likes Hemares. Yeah. I mean, Hemares are a fun part of the game. I think I bred a couple of Hemares either yesterday or this morning, or I don't remember. I bred a couple of them. King, no, we ain't. Very, very good. Very good. I can't argue with that. Bred 1 this week, baby ran and won. Nice. In the overview, there is a list of rules that constitutes a valid stable, yet we have over 130 stables that do not meet these requirements and not considered valid stables, yet the owner of these 130 plus stables getting, I guess you're talking about residencies, Skip, in the game, or why. They're not a valid residency as depicted by your rules you have listed. I mean, I'm not going to go into the details of it, but it's a much more major issue than you think it is. It's not just about turning it off. Because if we could just turn it off, we would, right? It's not that easy. Doubt that it's trust me when I tell you, Skip, I've looked at the code. It's super complicated. There is a very, very unique process built around it that Mike built up, for it. And again, he did a lot of this stuff on the honor system, right? He was hoping that folks would just play the game the way it was meant to be played. And unfortunately, people are people, and people take advantage, and that's exactly what's happened there. I mean, I can tell you it's on the radar, and it is something that we will get into fixing here in the future. But as far as right now, I'm not going to remove the rules, Skip. I mean, the rules are there to kind of be a deterrent, so we're not going to remove the rules. That's not going to serve a purpose or help anybody. Plus, it's work that one of us is going to have to do, so it's a waste of time, in my opinion, and Mike's opinion for that matter. So, not going to remove the rules. But again, it's not that we don't know who's exploiting. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Rancho asked, is there any coding for how a colt would perform in a race if there is a filly in the race? No. You mean like... No. The Colts weren't... No. No, unfortunately, that's not built into the game, and not in that sense anyway. You've heard in real life they may try to mount. It's possible. I've never seen it, but you get a huge ass animal, it's gonna do what it wants to do, right? Ba, 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 ba. Also, to kind of go back to the residency thing, while it is an issue, it's not as big of an issue as some folks think it is. Yeah, it's a little bit of an exploit that some people are taking advantage of. But at the end of the day, it is going to be something that we nip in the butt. And I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure not all of these are actually earning at the moment. A good chunk of these actually are not earning at the moment. But anyways, like I said, when we get to the point of making changes in, specific to the residency stuff, we'll communicate with the community and let y'all know what we end up doing. King says now that he's ever seen. Yeah, I've never seen it either, but I wouldn't doubt that it's never happened. Yeah, so that's that. Any other questions? Anything else that anybody wants to go over? Spin. We had a loose horse at Payson Park that chased down a filly trying to mount her. Oh man, that is a rough day, Spin. Oops. Do. See all my fun claimers, all my 4 to 5s and 2 to 5s that lost today? Am I allowed to ask questions? You're on thin ice, Donnie. But go ahead. The rule is, every question you ask, Donnie, you got to take a shot. That's how this works. Man, speaking of alcohol, I had a few beers last night and woke up this morning and had the worst beer munchies ever. The worst beer munchies ever. I ate so much crap today, it's not even funny. I got to drop a picture of the donuts I ate today. I'll drop it into the Slack chat. But these ginormous donuts from this craft place around the corner from us, and man, they're so damn good. Oh, I'm about to go back out and get me another one. Donnie's in. I like it, Donnie. I like the commitment. Sam says, is this a true statement? Wear and tear can vary greatly from horse to horse, or it's strict across the board? No, it can vary. Some horses, you'll see it with horses. Some horses handle it a lot better than others do. Good point, Biz. Is there any way to change the places where some of the group races are run? Millwood Cup is in SW, should be run in Victoria. I mean, is there a way to do it? Probably. Haven't looked into it though, Croft, if I'm being completely honest. Dropping a donut has a whole different meaning here. Well, we could talk about that on my OnlyFans 3. That's where the after party is after we finish up here. But yeah, Croft, I mean, we could certainly change it. I'd imagine we could change it. I don't know where it gets updated. It might just get updated in one of the back end tables. I'd have to go looking for it though. DB, my question is along the lines of Sam's. Will wear and tear value change for too many races without a break or too many races before a certain age, even if they are spaced well? For instance, a 3-year-old with 15 starts and no layoffs, but races are all 4 to 5 weeks apart. So yes and no is the best way I can answer that, Donnie. And again, it's there's different scenarios built out in the game. I don't want to go into what the specific scenarios are, but you'll see it with your horses, right? Like you'll see sometimes they have form cycles. So every so often, like every however many starts, you see a dip. And that's kind of the horse's way of saying, hey, man, I need a break, right? You put them on a break, and then however long you decide the break is, they come back and they run well again. Again, some horses do better with more rest. Some horses do better with short rest. But typically, if you're running them early and often, like if you're running the shit out of them as 2-year-olds and they're not ready to be run yet, what ultimately happens is that kind of magnifies it, and it accumulates wear and tear faster. So that's why we've said in past streams, like, if you have a horse, if you have a 2-year-old, it's just not showing you anything. If it's just not showing anything, then, the best suggestion is shelf it. Try it again at 3. If it doesn't show anything at 3, try it again at 4. If it doesn't show anything at 4, try it again at 5. That's the best way I can really explain that. Or, if you just get frustrated with it, drop it into claimers, drop it into the auction. That's kind of the beauty of the game. What causes a horse to get in a 1 good, 1 bad pattern? Placement and form, Bazals. So where you're putting the horse and the actual form of the horse. DB, I've been working under that assumption that there might be thresholds. There could be. Skip says, I've seen some races that I have questions about, like the Upper California and Illinois. I would expect this to be California. There are other probably better examples too. Yeah, you also got to remember too, we have to name the races, away from the real life counterpart too. I'm not sure which one that one actually mimics. I'd have to go back and look. But, it exists. The reason for the one-off names or the wonky names are because, we got to be different, for lack of a better word. Not Rich Man, is there a leaky bucket mechanism in the wear calc? I don't know what you mean by a leaky bucket mechanism. Meaning like the horse is like losing like ability? Is that what you're asking, Not Rich Man? DB, thanks. Super Taffy, Bazal's professional setting. Some horse show up every time. Some have days off. That's another bit. Yeah, that's a good point too, Taffy. There is a class rating for horses. And again, depending on how classy the horse is, some horses just know that when they go into the gate, it's time to run. And some don't. Some fuck around. Some, like... Some just don't like to behave, for lack of a better word. But yeah, it exists, and your horses are rated on it, so it's part of the calculation that goes into the race code. So, yeah, I forgot all about that, Taffy. I probably should have mentioned that. Thanks for picking that up. Shag, any thoughts at looking into the number of classifications of races that the CPU cards every week, maybe to balance races out a little better? Example, so that you don't get 15. So you're basically talking about restructuring the race scheduler. It's on the list. It's the best way. That's the best thing I can tell you. It's just not a very, not shitting on what Mike has done, because I actually haven't even seen this code. I don't think I've seen this code specifically. I think I've seen the table, but I haven't seen the code that generates it. Mike even mentioned to me that it's got to be updated and reworked. So it's on the list. Again, there's a lot of stuff that is 15, 20 years old, that, or 10, 15, 20 years old, that just kind of needs to get updated. 3, Biz would have thought they're a head case like Frank. Yeah, exactly. They can be head cases. That's real possible. I am tired and going to bed. Night all. Frank, you did a great job. Oh, thanks, King. I appreciate that, man. Get some rest, and we'll catch up with you. Upper California Derby used to be in Northern California. In the new sim, Mike eliminated some tracks, so the race moved, but kept the name, kind of like the Arlington Million run at Churchill now. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the best way to explain it is there's always an answer for it, right? Like there's always a reason why something exists in the game. So, Raffy, be nice to add search for 2L. Yeah, maybe one day, Taffy. I don't know if it was there before. I don't know why Mike removed it. I could, certainly ask. Put, like I said, doing any work to the website in its current state is kind of tough. The retired badges and doing that was like such an easy fix for us that we just went ahead and threw it in. It was because it literally took us no time at all. Different horses have different leaky value. Examples. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Not Rich. So every horse basically handles wear and tear differently. Is the best way I can explain that. Some are better at it. Some are worse at it. That's why you'll see some horses kind of taper off real significantly at like 14, 15 starts, and some horses just keep running at 30 starts. Any way to add a race search tool that isn't tied to a specific horse? Not in the current state. Not in the current state. I think when Mike moved over, as far as what happened to the hot streak badges, I think when Mike moved over, some of the badges didn't get moved over with it. I'll talk to him, Skip. It might just be a matter of adding them back in, because I'm pretty sure the code is already there. So it might just be, hey, let's add it into the folder or let's just add the badges into the folder so that they're there. Very good. But yeah, so yeah, so computers and servers and all that fun stuff do some wonky stuff in the back end. Sometimes updates do really weird things to online games, and it's just easier to let them sit there than it is to go in and figure out exactly what happened or what broke it or what have you. So that's why sometimes you see some things just get left alone. Because from an IT perspective, it's not really worth the lift to get back into it. But, again, not to say that we can't look at it, but that's just kind of the reason why you see some of it. That's all. All right. We got any more questions? Any more questions? Questions. Sam, when will that new color change go into effect on the mares? Not shown for me. It's already in effect, Sam. You probably have the old stuff cached. So if you have the old stuff cached, you need to clear out your cache on your web browser. Or just log out and log back in. That might work too. What's it going to take to get me a new grade 1 winner? It's a lot, Donnie. It's a lot. I'll have to think on that. I will have to think on that. It's going to cost you a pretty nice chunk of change just because it's you. For anybody who's new to the chat, I can be bribed. So, I'm just kidding. I can't be. But I can. No, I'm just kidding. I can't be bribed. So, yeah. Right. So going once, going twice on questions. Going. And donuts. Yes, donuts will do the trick. Just what my fat ass needs is another donut. Came prepared today, Taffy. I got 3 drinks with me, so just in case we end up going long. One more. Let's hear it, DB. Oh, you're getting a nice little. I didn't realize my son's toy box was in the back there. He was over here playing dinosaurs and beating the crap out of my work computer earlier today, so that's always fun. He's just gonna leave me hanging. Yeah, I was giving him a few minutes to type. I know he's a little bit under the influence at the moment, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Unless he truly is messing with me, in which case we're just sitting here in silence, and then, you get up, there it is. If a horse doesn't improve its speed figures between starts at 2, would you immediately send that one to the farm for 3 months or more? Sometimes I don't even wait for them to do that. Sometimes if they throw a low enough figure, like this guy, 6.5 through a 61 on the turf back on June 10th. I have him pushed all the way out another 30 weeks, which is February of 2024. So yeah, I kicked them out pretty far. I mean, that's a 2-year-old. I even did it with 3-year-olds. I mean, granted, this one's run 8 times, but I did it with 3-year-olds. I do it with 2-year-olds. I did it with a 4-year-old. So this one, I'm going to wait and see what happens at 5. Again, man, I'm kind of sorry, got sidetracked. I'm kind of, putting the maturity thing to the test here. I want to see if, giving them time is really, really going to help. I mean, I've seen it help in a lot of cases in a lot of different examples. So, yeah, I mean, I think I had a couple go, well, no, the 2 that I had go today, I think was a direct result of finding the style. So, let me see. Yes, assuming similar distance surface class. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of up to you, DB. But me personally, like the way I used to do it, at least the way I used to do 2-year-olds when I first started, was I'd run them at 6 furlongs. If they showed me anything at 6, then I'd if they showed me at 6, then I just keep running them through the 6.5, 7, 7.5, whatever was available as far as the races are concerned. But if they didn't show much at 6, then I would automatically wait for a route. And if they didn't show anything at a route, then I would just shut them down until they were 3. That was kind of the way that I did it, that I've done it in the past. This year, I'm kind of doing things a little bit differently, where I'm basically, if a horse isn't running a fig where I think it should run, then yeah, I'm just shutting it down and moving it back. Here's a good example of another one. This one pissed me off so much. Yeah, see, 59. I mean, granted, that was in February, so it's not too bad. But this one pissed me off so much, I just said, get out of my face, and pushed it out over a year. Yeah. So, let's see. Taffy, I used to make them if they got to 5 starts without hitting the board, or minimally I'd throw them in the barn for a year, bring them out. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I mean, me personally, I am really going to take advantage of the rest aspect of it. Because, again, Mike flat out told me the last time that I had the conversation with him is that the game rewards patience. So if you're just, sending a horse out to run just because it's bred well, it might be bred well, but that doesn't mean it's going to run as a 2-year-old. So you're kind of just beating yourself against beating your head against the wall, getting the same result over and over again because it's not ready to run at 2. It might be ready to run at 3. It may not run at 3. Might be ready to run at 4, and then at 4 it runs crazy. So Taffy also said, I had a junk stable, so some didn't get started for over a year or 2, and then when it became their turn to run at work rate, yeah, we need a checkbox. If I drop dead waiting for maturity, the CPU enters my horses. That's what you got me for, Sam. I'll be your checkbox. DB seems controversial, but I'm trying it. You mean controversial in the sense that of waiting, DB? You stated to me that you and Mike are aware of a huge exploit in the game in breeding a sire from one account to another account you own or to a friend you own. You stated that you were aware of this exploit in the game, but we're not policing it. Why not? This is the reason why we have so many burner stables and multiple accounts in the sim. Um, we're aware of it because, like I said before, the fix that goes in for something like that takes a very long time to put in. Number one. Number two, we've actually already kind of combated it with the breeding controls that have been put in place. So that a lot of that should start to go away. That's number two. And number three, we're not really. I mean, with the next feature that's coming out, when we do, get to the point with the mare leasing, um, we don't want to have any restrictions put in place that are going to impact that. So that's another reason, Skip. I mean, there's a feature coming out that's going to be specific to that exact scenario that you name, which is another reason why we don't really want to mess with it. So, again, in due time, as far as the technical piece of it is concerned, it's not really a huge. We're not looking at it as a huge egregious thing. I mean, again, we know who's doing it and we can track it. It's not hard to track, but we're just not. Like I said, it's not a huge no in our book. So, I mean, I'm not going to broadcast what it is, but at the same time, like it's not really too severe in the grand scheme of things. That's just kind of how we view it. DB, this horse waiting. Let's see what DB, Husson, Caravaggio, Tappet. What did the mare do? The mare ran good at 3. Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's probably worth waiting. Yeah, I would push it out. I mean, you're winning claimers, you're earning BPs with it, so it's really your call. You know what I mean? But like again, it's do you want BPs or do you want wins? I mean, because clearly that horse can win at the claiming ranks right now. I mean, but if you have high hopes for it, then I would say push it out to 3 and see what happens. Shag, what's the shortest possible maturity period? Can you have one that is only at its peak for a month or two? I don't think so. I think so. I think the shortest period, and I think the shortest period I've seen has been 6 months. 6 or 7 months. I can't remember offhand. I know it was somewhere up there. That's the shortest one I've seen. I've never seen one that low, Shag. If you want a 2-year-old, I would suggest using Aussie sires. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of sires that you'll broadcast and tell everyone I know to tell if you're going to allow it. Go ahead, Skip. I mean, you can do that. I'm not gonna stop you or make an attempt to stop you. I mean, I'll tell you, you're not hurting anything by doing it. So. But if that's the approach you want to take, feel free. You're not going to bother me. What's up, Vision? That's Jono, right? Got to get Jono on the list. All right. Yeah, Jono woke up. I know Jono was up late last night. He was up till like 3 a.m. That's what he said in the chat anyway. Kind of you to make it here, man. We appreciate your company. Shag, one more pet peeve spurred by DB's link. Is it possible to add code so that when the horse page opens in its own window and you click on the pedigree, you can click on the sire and it'll open the page like it normally does? When I click the sire in DB's link, nothing happens. When you click the sire, oh yeah, that just seems like it's a broken link. I can ask Mike. It just looks like a broken link to me. I mean, it might just be like a little snafu someplace. We can certainly look into it. Like I said, we're not really too interested in making huge updates to the website the way in its current state. But that doesn't mean, again, if it's something that's going to take minimal effort right now for the website in its current state, that's one thing. If it's going to it's gonna basically cause us, hours and hours of work, the question then becomes: do you want us to do this, or do you want us to focus on features? And I imagine you'd rather have new features and stuff coming out than minor bug stuff. Doesn't work when it's popped out window outside the game and chat. Yeah, it's a bug. And Mike is texting me now. It's a lift. Takes some time to fix. Jono, I have a question. Newly bred 2-year-olds, should they be trained before running, or does it not matter? Technically speaking, when you say should they be trained, you mean like should you get them sharp? Because most of them start sharp. But you don't have to push them through a training period. No, they should be ready to run. So sharp would mean they're ready to run. So open one in Slack, same issue. Yeah, no, we're aware of it, Taffy. I know. Shag, it's one of those 5-minute fixes. I'd love it. Otherwise, no worries. No, I appreciate that, Shag. Yeah, it's according to Mike's saying it's a little bit of a lift. So again, probably the reason why it hasn't been done. Can you change pencil color when a note is added? I can ask. Again, it's on old. Like I said, as far as the website is concerned, we're making. Excuse me. If it's not an easy fix on the website, we're probably not going to put much effort into it right now because we do plan on rolling it over into something else in the near future. So we don't really want to put a shit ton of effort into something that's kind of going away. But I'll ask Croft. I'll see what Mike says. See if it's an option. But I'm pretty sure these are images, so I don't think that we can just change the color of them. We would have to write some code around that to say, if it's this if this exists, then flip to this image or something like that. You know what I mean? Let me see what else we got. Sam, everyone likes your suggestions there, Croft. Speaking of hots, what happened on Cody's date? It's a good question. Cody, do you still have your nuts? That was where we last left it. Yeah, so going back to the website here too, because I know it seems like I'm being pretty dismissive of a lot of what you guys are asking as far as the website is concerned. It's not my intention, right? So I hope you guys aren't taking it that way. Again, hopefully we'd love to have a new website by next year. Not the beginning of next year, just at some point next year. In a perfect world, that would kind of require us to kind of ignore the minor fixes until the new site gets pushed out. So that's essentially what we're working on. Adding to Croft 3 says, adding to Croft, is there a way so you added a note to a horse? As far as I know, you need to click. No, like you said, 3, you got to click on it right now. There's not really a way to know. Vision, so I can run it the day after a 2-year-old is bred with no harm to the horse. Yeah, absolutely, Jono. Skip, I was the one that asked for the pencil and got it added. That is a very good idea. Yep. DB dope. 3. Oh, never mind my question. Got it. Jono, looks like I misread. I love the pencil. I use it all the time. Adding notes to shares would be nice as well. Yeah, I'll have to look into that, Sam. Because right now that would be, we'd have to build an entirely different table structure for that in order for that to work, and that can get a little large. Based on the player base plus the number of sires that exist. So I have to talk that over with Mike. Taffy, be nice if there was a third tab next to the past performances down at the bottom that you could click on for the notes. What? A third tab? I don't see any tabs. Am I missing something? Or are you talking about right here? Instead of clicking this and moving it there like that. Cody says yes for now. She's listening and laughing about it. She's playing a game on her phone, just hanging out right now. Man, dating has changed. You guys are hanging out you're hanging out together, but you're playing games and enjoying a stream. Oh, good on you, Cody. I hope it works out for you, man. In the horses page. Yeah, I think I figured out what you were talking about, Taffy. Not rich man. Some quality of life fixes can be really helpful. If it's an easy update, note thing really is a drag. Can you include more notification helpers when working on new design? Yeah, I mean, the idea is to make everything a lot more modern, right? I imagine we'll have like tooltips and things like that, but we got to get into a much, much more modern space in order to do that, right? We're on some pretty old software. We're on a pretty old platform right now. One that doesn't functionally allow us to add things with ease. So, again, like I said, if it's something that we can fix super easy, all for it. But if it's going to take a ton of time, like I said, there's other things, there's other priorities, there's other stuff that we want to get out to the player base that's going to make for, a better experience. Again, I get that, the quality of life things, these little hiccups that come up or that, these extra clicks and whatnot cause a little bit more frustration for the user. But it's manageable right now. Cody, she's on Tinder looking for her next date. 3, I use notes for the mares just so I know who my shares are for. Pity you don't have an option so you can link the share to a mare for when you want to use the share. You know who the share is for. No, again, I mean, don't have an option for that. I don't know if that's something that we're going to do in the future anyway, 3. I know a lot of folks track that stuff, like using their own personal spreadsheets and things of that nature. I don't really know that we want to get into that level of detail on our side. Vision or Jono, adding flying spur back in would be easy, but you won't do that. It's super easy, Jono, but I can't do it. Mike would rip my head off. I'm just kidding. Mike's a good guy. Yeah, so I mean, going back, some of this stuff, like I said, it may not be super hard to add a lot of this stuff, but it just takes time, and it takes time away from other things, and I'm not making excuses, right? But what I am gonna say is, both Mike and I work jobs on top of doing this, plus we have families and whatnot that we would like to spend time with. So it's a balancing act, really, is what it kind of boils down to. And again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that the the better parts of the game kind of show up, is more or less what I'm trying to say. But once we get to more of a Python based website, the additions will become a lot easier. Everything will become a lot easier to do. Is my sound off? Is my sound messed up? It shouldn't be. Hold on, let me check my levels real quick. Am I not getting sound? No, I'm getting sound. Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Skip, that might be on your side, buddy. Maybe refresh the stream or something. Maybe something got knocked loose on your end. Did I miss something else? Sam. Here we go. Taffy. I make lists of who I want to breed them to, but then forget that the sire is bookmarked. Don't know exactly how to say, but what about the idea in the rewrite that would let us link jockeys to certain horses? Yeah, Sam. So jockeys need to kind of be reworked as a whole anyway. But the number one goal right now is to get the race code rewritten, and we're making some good progress on that. Because if that computer goes down, the game goes bye-bye. So we don't want that to happen. So that's number one priority right now. That and one of the other features that we talked about. But yeah, we're gonna we're getting there. It's just a slow moving train. Like I said, there's only 2 of us. It's a big game. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of effort. So we're working it out between the 2 of us, and hopefully we get there. Skip said, I used to plan breeding with mares too. That's a great use for the pencil. Yep, that's another good use for it. Oh, Mike corrected me. Maybe not bye-bye, but the race is halt until we get it done. So, like, almost bye-bye. we pause briefly. Hopefully briefly. Let's see. What was the next comment? We got... Tavi said, I have jockeys I like for certain horses and don't want to make them my top pick for all horses because they don't agree with the other ones. As far as I know, that's not a thing right now, Taffy, where a jock will or won't agree with a horse. Again, I don't know for sure. Well, I do know for sure. I don't think it's a thing. Taffy said, we understand just throwing out ideas. Oh, yeah. No, I appreciate that. Like I said, I just don't want it. I don't want things to come across like, that we're shooting everything down. That's not what we're doing at all. It just, things take time. And that's the biggest enemy right now is time. Time kind of takes up, what you put your effort towards as far as time is concerned is really kind of what the player base is going to see in the end. So, and that's kind of what we're focused on right now. Let's see. They stay with them a while. Okay, yeah, you can hear. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up on chat. I fell a little bit behind. Sorry. Like have a default list of jockeys, but if you have a horse that you want specific jockeys to go to and put a top 5 for them. Yeah. Again, going back to jockeys, that's something that we gotta rework. It's something we gotta rework. Going into the future as far as how they get assigned, so to speak. Mike and I have briefly talked about it. We don't know exactly how we're going to make it work yet, but a drop-down list is a good suggestion. And maybe you set a couple of different jockeys that you have, bids on, that sort of thing. 3 says, hate it when a jockey wins a big race on your horse, then jumps ship next start. All right. So we got right. Jono says, so Frank, the DICD numerical values, do they mean anything or not in the 999? You mean, do they mean anything to the race engine, Jono? Because if that's your question, the answer is no. They're just there to look pretty. That's pretty much it. It's just information for you to have. Skip, I relogged and still can't hear. There we go. Did you unmute me, Skip? Mazals, sound is good here. Yep. Let's see. Jockeys follow the guaranteed money. That's essentially how they do things. So if you're worried about jocks jumping, that's basically what they're doing. They're following the money. Oops, sorry. Got to send a text here real quick. Will all jocks travel? Yeah, if the money's right. You can get a jock to travel anywhere. If you have them tagged up, they'll travel. Three saying, so they're saying you don't have a good shot to win this race. Not necessarily. Not saying that you don't have a good shot to win the race. They're probably saying that they think the other horse has a better shot. That's all. And jockeys aren't always right. Yeah, I mean, they'll travel. I mean, typically they travel for the big races. That's I don't think they travel for listed. They travel for graded only, I believe, Skip. I'm on Tinder now? Yeah, I don't know. Whoever put my face on Tinder, my wife's going to come find you and beat your ass. Had a grade 1 winner have the jockey bail, horse lost. Yeah, I mean, again, jockeys make us. I mean, jockeys make decisions too, just like you guys do. You know, so it's possible. He's ordering more donuts, or maybe, man. If I wasn't so fat, Maddie, I would have had pizza tonight. But I was stuffed, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna drop that picture of them donuts in the chat, and then we'll see who's laughing. It was on another big one. Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? It's one of those deals where, you know, again, the jockey will make an assessment, and he either jumps ship or he sticks it out with you. I mean, if everything's all things tied, the jockey's going to pick the horse that it thinks is best. Cody says, not tonight, but maybe on the next one, can you go into the selecting jocks? I've read how and watched the videos, but I'm still not sure what the sliders mean exactly. I would say I mean, I can do it right now. It's not that difficult, but yeah, I mean, basically the way that it works is you just click on the jockey and max it out. You know, guarantee the money. That's the way. If you want a jock, guarantee the money. So the more money you give, the better you're going to be. And these two fields here, percent of winnings, 50%, guarantee 100%. I max these out for everything. The tie break, I have listed, you know, however I have the jocks rated. So if I think the jock is mediocre like I do with this one, he's a 74. I don't want him riding my horse if there's a better option out there, is more or less how I look at that. So best way, that's how I do it. I hope that was helpful. Sam, what's cool is if a jock you pay well travels for you, he will ride all your mounts at the track for the day. Yeah, he should, especially if nobody else is bidding on him, Sam. 3, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm trying to weed my way through the questions. I deactivate all the bad ones. They never ride for me. Some of the help videos need a little updating. That's kind of why we're doing these, Skip. That's why we're balancing things out. Trying to. I don't want to say that we're not going backwards, but we're probably not going to revisit the old help videos. I don't really think. I mean, we would have to redo them entirely, which again could be possible on the new website. We could redo them and, you know, cut things in and out. 50% of winnings, guaranteed 100% of that 50%. Or am I wrong? No, that's right, Maddie. That's it. I mean, but that's essentially what it boils down to. I mean, jockeys are swayed by money. Yeah, I mean, and again, Skip, new site, new videos. New site, new videos. It'll all get embedded together. How does a tiebreak work? It's a number. Whatever number's higher is the jock that gets picked. So if you have two jocks in the same spot and one's a 90 and one you have one that you're doing the exact same thing here, right? Where they're both 50 and 100 for the race. One's 75 at the tiebreak and the other's 90. The one that's 90 is going to win your tiebreak. So you'll get that jock over the other one, if that makes sense. I'd give 100% to a good jockey. I don't use the money. But yeah, I mean, listen, there's very few things you can use money for today in the game. I mean, I shouldn't say very few things, but there's a couple of things you can use money for, and it's useful. But in my opinion, there's no harm in maxing it out. I mean, I would do it as much as you possibly could. Or I would use as much money as you possibly could to try and get the jocks that you want. That's one of the more important parts of the game. And that's it. And you can see all my jockeys here. Let's see. Wins BPs, money is irrelevant. I mean, BPs are kind of the gold standard today. LBC Cody. So it's not with other players you have, but it's with your own. That makes it clear. Yeah, I mean, the jockey is going to pick whatever horse they want, right? So, and I'm pretty sure the tiebreak, and maybe Mike will correct me here, but I'm pretty sure the tiebreak is based on if you have multiple jockeys in the same spot and if you have multiple jockeys in the same spot and you essentially win the bid, which one's going to go based off the tiebreak? Yeah, Skip couldn't have said it better. You'd rather have the good jock than the money. Absolutely. Hope you have me selected in. I don't know who I have selected in Australia. I don't usually head over there that often. Most of my horses are America. America and England, France. That's pretty much where I hang out for the most part. Any chance we can do 100%, then the max of 50%? What? Do 100% and then the max of 50%? You mean as far as the guaranteed? I mean, I guess the answer to that would be no, because the percent of winnings is always going to be 50%, and then the guarantee is always, the max you can go is 100 on the guarantee. So you can't go any higher than 50. You can't go any higher than 100 on the guarantee, or you can't go any higher than 50% on the percent of winnings, and then for the guarantee it's 100%. So basically you're saying that whether this horse wins or loses, you're going to pay 100% of whatever the fee is. So if the fee is, I don't know, $55K, I went to Franklin's today. I'm eating brisket, not sim related, just bragging. Love to hear it, Croft. I hope you're enjoying your trip over here, man. You're in Texas, right, Croft? All right, sorry, I'm still trying to. What if they're all set to 100 to the tiebreak? Then it's going to be a random draw, Taffy. It's going to be a random draw on the tiebreak. So you may get the good one, or you may get the one that you want, or you might not. Can we pay in after pay for jockey payments? Yes, I can be bribed. So, you pay me and I'll pay the jock. How about that, 3? Jono, so if the race wins 50K and the jockey takes 50%, does that come the total that show as the amount of money a horse has earned over the years or not? No, the horse still earns what the horse earns. That's independent. That's the horse is independent. This is just what affects your bottom line as the owner. That's all. That is it. Nope. Force a habit, always go to all. Let's see. Sam, I know my jockey's awful, but put a bid him on my good horses and got him to win at 24% clip at some point. So in the end, it's the horse's condition that rules. Yeah, I mean, the biggest chunk of the game is the horses. Like that's, if you have the horse right, and if you have a good horse, and you're placing the horse correctly, and you have a good jock on them, they're gonna win. That's kind of the way it works. But yeah, I mean, the jocks is only a portion of it. Am I sure the game ignores inbreeding? I didn't say it ignores inbreeding. I actually said the opposite. It checks inbreeding. It checks inbreeding, and it basically creates. It messes with the talent curve. It can go up or down. But it doesn't it's not like inbreeding doesn't automatically equate to a negative impact. Is more or less what I'm saying. It can, but it's not like a hardwired thing to say if you've inbred this much, you're going to automatically be a bad horse. It doesn't work that way. Skip, I found some horses like some jockeys, even if the jock is not the best top rated. I mean, there's no true mechanic as far as relationship. Oh no, it's all good, Jono. Yeah, it's all good. I just wanted to be clear that wasn't the message I gave. So wherever you heard that from, you may want to relay it back to them. But that's not how it works. But as far as like jockey relationship to horse, it doesn't really exist in the current model. Not to say that it won't going forward, but yeah, that's, that is the gist of it. What the hell? Sorry, I just got blitzed with text messages. Completely bombarded. I just, for some reason, got 20 messages in a row. That's fun. All right, I'll have to read some of those later. Da, 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 da. But yeah. Any other questions? Spam virus? I don't think so. I think it's just a delayed, because I live in the boonies, so probably just a delay in the signal. I gotta go skip fours today. Not keen at all. I don't know what that means. 3, my Tinder is blowing up. Oh, man. Let me see if I added everybody on the list here. I think I got everybody. Play lawn bowls. What the hell is lawn bowls? I have no clue what lawn bowls is. Maybe I'm just not in the know anymore. I can add you twice, Cody. I'll add you once for you and once for the girl you're on the date on because she's a saint. I've done since you were 30. Not old enough. Yeah, I have no idea what lawn bowls are. I've never heard of that before. Maybe I got to get out of my shell a little bit. All right. Any other questions? Anything else? How long have we been going? We've been going for about an hour and a half. Oh, almost 2 hours, huh? Business opportunities. Got it. Got it. All right. So, Croft, girl, the last time you asked, are there any more questions? We went another hour. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Croft. I'll never get out of here if I keep asking if you guys got questions. But that's why we're here. That's why we're doing them. We're trying to be as, open to the community as we possibly can right now. And, trying to get good feedback, trying to get, everything that you guys want, because like I said, we're doing some big things on the back end. So I could sing. Oh, nobody wants that. Trust me, you'd probably rather see me do handstands naked, Bazals, than sing. That's on the OnlyFans, by the way, guys. I'll switch over to OnlyFans after we finish here. Was that Derby Fever merch? Is that what that was supposed to be, Jono? I don't know. That's actually something I've never talked to Mike about it, to be honest with you. I don't know that I can 100% guarantee we don't have a clothing deal or an apparel deal. At least one that I'm not aware of. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know that there's too much of a demand for it. That would probably get super difficult to do too, now that I think about it, because of all the shipping. All the shipping to overseas and what have you. That would probably cost you guys an arm and a leg. Start a Redbubble. What's a Redbubble spin? Get a sweatshirt, t-shirts, coffee mugs with credits in the game. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I didn't I didn't realize there was that big of a demand for it. If I mean, I guess I can certainly talk to Mike about it and see what he thinks, but I imagine the shipping costs alone are going to be crazy. Cody says if people are interested, he could do it. He runs a merch for a couple of. Oh, very cool. You print them and we can all wear them in Melbourne the end of November with the catch up. All right. Hey. On demand service. Ah, okay. Online makers do stuff for you. You just provide the image. Oh, I got you. I got you. Oh, okay. Buyer pay shipping. Got it. All right. Well, I mean, I'll talk to Mike about it and see what he says. I mean, I didn't realize it was that easy. He said, I'm not, that's not my world. I have like 3 shirts and 3 pairs of shorts that I wear. Skip, there has always been a concern with consistency with horses. Same race, track, and distance. They run a 110 the next time, 85. Seems we have had a consistency issue that some do not understand. It could be a number of things, to be honest with you, Skip. I mean, it could be the horse stepping up in competition. It could be and not putting forth a good effort. It could be, let me see. It could be the horse hasn't fully matured. It could be the horse ran the wrong style. It could be, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff it could be. I mean, I had a few of them pop today that went from like the opposite 90 to 100. No, I had a 95 go to a 110 today, I think, or a 98 go to a 110, something crazy like that. It was completely unexpected, but it also has to do with the horse's professionalism too. Like if sometimes some horses show up every single time and other horses don't. Like Spice Turtle showed up pretty much every single race. So, and that stuff happens in real life all the time too. You never know what you're going to get out of a horse. You can take a good guess, but doesn't necessarily mean you're 100% right all the time. Sam, even the YouTube channels now have merch, can partner up with websites. You would never have to ship a thing. Yeah, I mean, again, we could look at it. But again, we start doing that, we get more focused on something else, you know what I mean? So it's time. Oh, I'll Google it. Yeah, I mean, I can look at it. Like I said, it's just one of those things that we'll have to take time and sit down and figure out what's what. John O purchased a classy beef hoodie and only paid $20 delivery, and they stream out of Malta. Oh, okay. Your base doesn't matter if the. Oh, I got you. So it's all based on whoever's creating it. But yeah, I mean, back to your point here, Skip. We are in the race code right now, rewriting it. So, we'll audit it. I mean, no promises that any changes are going to be made, but we are reviewing the code to make sure that nothing sticks out while we rewrite it. Can wear the hat at Melbourne Spring Carnival. Yeah, I guess flash the gear all wherever you want. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk to Mike about it, and if anybody has a website like that they know of specifically, you can shoot it over to me in Slack. Don't send it here; just send it to me in Slack, or PM me on the forum, and I'll look into it. Maybe what if you should offer to run merch and make a proposal for Mike? Yeah, there's an idea too. Again, if he's interested in it, I don't know. You always feel like the bouncers in the game. Not directly. Jono, I'd do it if Mike adds Flying Spur. Oh man, Jono, you really want Flying Spur back. I don't think I can't read that out loud. Oh man. I got a text from another player. I can't read that. That was good though. Oh, that threw me for a loop. Okay, sorry. I always felt like the bounce is in the game. It's not like that the bounce is hard coded or coded into the game. It is. It can happen though. That's the best way I'll put it. It can happen. It's not that it's coded into the game in the sense that like if you meet this amount of checkpoints or what have you, it'll trigger it. You know what I mean? Oh no, nope. Can't read that one. That might get me shut down on Twitch. It was just funny, and I have a very twisted sense of humor, so I can't read that out. I can't read that out loud. Nope. Even that'll get me. That'll get me canceled 3. So nope. Sorry, we're gonna move past that. Someone is sending me porn. Man, you guys are all over the place tonight between Tinder and going on dates and porn. Say it had to do with. I can't say it. I'm not going to say it. That'll get me in too much trouble. We're going to move on. We're moving on. Sorry, guys. Took me by surprise. I shouldn't have looked at my phone. All right. So that is that. Anywho, okay. So yeah. So again, what we're more or less interested in right now, as far as the player base is concerned, is the wiki pedigree. So if you guys can, do that as we explained earlier, I will type up something and put it on the forum for everybody. And then we'll go from there. Player extracts tab. What does that mean, Maddie? Player extracts tab. I forget where that is. Connect, contact admin. Where is it? No. This just sends out your race information. So if you hit update, I think it just shoots you out a list. I'm pretty sure it just shoots you out a list of your races so you can see what your horses look like on spreadsheet form. On the page you're on. On this page? No, I think I was on the right page. This page. You mean by doing the player extracts? No, you can't see it. It's just like results. That's all it is. Yeah, it's just results. So if I hit update, this is what it pushes out. So you can copy all this. Oops. Let's try that again. Copy it all. Actually, let's not do that. Notepad. Paste it into Notepad. File, save. DF extract test. Close, and then we'll go to Excel. Actually, no, we won't. We'll go to my desktop. DF. So take that and then open with Excel. I did that wrong. Goes something like this. You open with Excel, and then there's a way that I am completely forgetting right now. Page layout, formulas, data. Oh, here we go. From text to CSV. If it decides it wants to change. What the hell? This is different than the last time I did this. Hang on a second. I was not expecting to give lessons tonight. There we go. Yeah, see, there you go. So you can open up Excel and then just hit import, and then from text to CSV, and then load, and it breaks it out for you, just like that. So all the data the metadata that's right there is now broken out into different columns, so you can filter it, do whatever you want to do, restrictions, all that good stuff. And that's that. Let's see. Delete it. No one has the time for that. Make some room on the website for something. There you go, Shag. Data, text to columns. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had to do that. I usually just import everything straight into SQL these days. So, Taffy got flagged again. What are you doing, Taffy? I know, it's his name. So for those of you who don't know, Taffy always gets flagged because she types shag in the chat, and apparently Twitch doesn't like shag. It thinks it's a dirty word. I was going to say where's Shag and all the stuff he knows. Yeah, I know how to do it. I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't really done much with Excel, and other than import Excel files, I don't do shit with them, to be honest. It's about the extent of it. You love Excel? Well, it is not for me anymore. I used to use it pretty religiously, but I can't do it anymore. Can't do it. Not when you have SQL access. That's my go-to, and even then Python is better than that, or it's getting there anyway. All right, so kind of coming to the end here now that I have my screen up, my desktop. Scotch and cigars, more fun. Yeah, I agree. Scotch and cigars are a lot more fun. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But I appreciate everybody jumping on and joining in tonight. I appreciate all the questions. Thanks to everybody who joined. I will shoot out credits to everybody who was in here. So be on the lookout for that. And that'll pretty much do it for me. If anybody's got any other questions, feel free to PM me in Slack. You can send me messages on the forum. And yeah, and that's it. We'll go from there. But thank you guys, again for all the, support. We really do appreciate it. And hopefully I see you all on the Wiki Pedigree. Like I said, me and Mike are going to kind of start drumming stuff up with this. So please, anything and everything, even if it's old horses, get in there, start making changes. If you want to add new horses, that stuff that's coming, that is going to hit stud next year, even better. But I know it might be a little early for that, but either way. Anywho, thank you all again, and I'll catch you all later.